Well, hello everyone. Thought I'd do a short one this afternoon on basically cleanliness, but I wanted to connect it to a few videos that I had seen. One was about brainwashing, and then because enemas and fasting are part of cleanliness, I thought it'd be an interesting dialogue. It's pretty simple. There's not really much to be said. I'm not going to say anything too new here, I don't believe, other than a few ideas on enemas. But um, brainwashing is literally washing your brain. And because we live in a reality that has been inverted in so many ways, language is always backwards. Like the idea that washing your brain is a bad idea. See, there you go. It's been, it's already been so put into pop culture. Like their brain has already. See, what's already happened is the brain is so already programmed that it literally requires washing, or cleaning, or deprogramming. And everything about the brain needs more water. Water is a solvent. It cleans the brain. Everything that's going on in the system is programming, and it's in fact a lack of cleanliness. It's a lack of water. It's a lack of solvents. And I can just make this transition to why I'm a little snotty here, because over this holiday break, this is the first time I've really had any kind of cold-ish type symptoms in I don't know, years. And it's mainly because I wasn't drinking as much. I wasn't drinking as much alcohol, water, or juice either, but I was eating a lot. I was consuming so many elements. And when we get back into this inverted reality, what's beneath us is what you'd call earth. And the next density would be water, and the next density would be air. Yet our entire reality is based upon how eating. Everything we do is eating. We're a consumption society, so we deal with the lowest possible, densest realm. Nobody tells you day in and day out to remember to breathe. Nobody reminds you to drink clean, pure, distilled water. No one tells you that. But you better believe if you miss a meal, someone's gonna want to find you. Even people that don't even like you, like, did you eat today? People get really concerned if you didn't eat. People want to ask you, like, when's the last time you filled up and cleaned yourself? They don't care about that. They're not making sure that you're breathing properly. And they definitely won't tell you to drink distilled water, because that's a major lie out there, because they don't even know what water is. They don't know what cleanliness is. They even if they tell you to drink water, the first thing they say is you better put those minerals back in there. You better put those salts back in there. That's an obscene idea, but yet no one can even see it. You're supposed to, if there is such thing as minerals and vitamins, like you're sold the idea of them, which I've gone on time and time again of what that really is. Why would you put it in water if you're supposed to get it from the food? Would you want your air to be clean, or would you want your air with extra elements in it? Hey, air with extra elements. No, you wouldn't. You would plainly, clearly, in every way. You go outside, you're like, look at all the smog in there. Look at the tailpipes of the cars, and people are upset with this. Look at the clouds in the sky. They're putting chemicals in the air. Now people are really upset with this. Yet they want to go ahead and put garbage in their water, more salt in their water, because you need it. Because obviously, because you're not getting it from the food, even though they know what the food is doing. So this whole inverted reality is um, you're reminded of the denser things, not of the lighter things. You're reminded of the darkness. You're reminded of all the evils in the world, but you're not reminded of like the shiny, happy things. It's the same thing. You're reminded to eat 3 times a day easy, which is absurd. That's an absurdity. Could you imagine an animal in nature eating 3 times a day? Well, most people haven't been in nature like that. But animals don't eat 3 times a day. It depends on the animal you're looking at. But it's just the idea. What they're doing is they're mainly breathing. Go observe any Watch a dog, even a domesticated animal. They're outside, they're panting, they're breathing, they're interacting. They're not wearing any shoes. Let's remember that they're grounding themselves out, and they're getting some sunshine or whatever. But if you look into nature, animals, their majority of their time is spent breathing, and then they're finding clean water. I mean, they're already interacting with the sun and the electrical universe and all of that, but the last thing, this is why you can see animals that are supposedly arch nemesis, enemies, all around a pond of clean water, not killing each other. Because that's not really what's going on. I have to remind people of this many times, and no one's really trying to hear it. Like, you could see a lion next to the animal that, like an antelope. But if the lion isn't eating the antelope because it's hungry per se. The lion is eating the antelope because it is the weakest of the antelope, and so that way it doesn't reproduce and create what we've done as humans, created a bunch of fucking retards. And I'm not gonna, and when I say that, oh, do you say fucking retards? You know what I mean? Like people that are, look, I could show you how imbalanced my body is from past generations, the sins of our fathers. That's the idea. So we've produced offspring that are not as strong as the last generation because we allowed the weak shit to live. And not to say that we shouldn't allow the next generation. Look, read the book Pottinger's Cats. I've put this out there so many times. Go read the book Pottinger's Cats. It's about nutrition in the cat kingdom. So getting back to this animal thing, these animals aren't hunting because they're like out there just like, oh, I must destroy this thing. They're going to either kill something because it's threatening their tribe or their offspring, like you don't get too close, or it's because there is that time of the season that, okay, these antelopes have just birthed new fawn, right? What do they call those? And then the weakest of the species has to go. It's implicit in the balance of nature. And so what we've done as humans, we attempt to solve the problems with science, that we destroy with science, that it's all of this ridiculous shit that we continue to do. But getting back to the original premise of this is washing and brainwashing and enemas and fasting. And it's being more aware. When you fast, when you do an enema, when you do these things where you aren't consuming in the same way, you're highlighting the things that the system inverts. Like back to they tell you to put sunglasses on. They don't tell you to stare at the sun. They don't tell you to get a clean air. They don't tell you to drink distilled water, but they'll tell you to eat all day. And all of a sudden you just stop eating all day. And all of a sudden you're drinking clean water. And now because you have so much time, if you're very focused, you'll be paying attention to your breath. You'll be paying attention to, because now you don't have to do all of the eating things, the preparation for eating, the going and shopping, the spending money on food items that you don't need, and turning the stove on, and all the things that go into cooking a meal that we've gone over many times. There's so much that goes into making a meal, and you're gonna do that 3 times a day. And maybe you're not gonna make all of them, but you're still gonna get in your car and go to the fast food restaurant if that's what you eat, or maybe eat something better. It doesn't really matter. But getting to the, like, look again at what children do. Look again at what a baby does. Go see kid. You can remember when you were 5, 6, 7 years old and you were out playing. You could be out for an entire day. You wouldn't have thought 1 second about eating. Your mom or dad's got to call you home for dinner. And you're just like, man, I don't want to go home for dinner, because you didn't need the food in the way that, like that wasn't it. You were using the energy that was already provided for you. And it was through the nature itself, breathing out in nature, running around, and your imagination. That's even more so. It wasn't the food. It wasn't but you get pulled home to eat the food. Now you get locked in. There you go. Now you got to eat. And you're tired after you eat. You got to go through the whole process of digestion. and that gets in the way. So what all that is programming. That's screwing up neurology, screwing up things in your body. When you eat 3 times a day, eating things you're not supposed to. So what do you do to so if everything, including the word brainwashing, has been inverted, if just about everything is inverted or at least coded esoterically, occulted, like where you just don't notice it, but oh, pay attention to the word. Maybe they're actually telling you something. You should wash your brain. You should put more water in your brain. How do you think babies come out the womb? Babies, children learn faster than anybody else because their body is made of water. They're malleable. They don't break. You can drop them. They just like their bones are malleable. Their brain, their body is full of water, and they learn quickly. They learn super quickly. But then you remove the water and you start putting in heavy metals. You start putting in all sorts of different salts and this and that, and you dehydrate the body and you destroy it. So the way to invert that, well, obviously you can do inversions, handstands, things like this, but you shouldn't do that until your body is somewhat clean because you don't want to be putting all that funk into your brain. So getting into the practical nature of this, the practical side, because I'd watch somebody's video on doing enemas, because that's what I'm doing today as well. Because I ate too much, man. I'm fucking feeling like a big pile of shit. Why? Because I ate a bunch of things that are just now literally sitting in my system. And it's causing me like clogs over here, just like ugh, ugh. That's how I feel. So clean it out. How do you know your house gets messy? Clean it up. So back to these enemas. It should be understood, especially people that know me enough and have watched some of my videos on enemas. Be creative with the enemas. You don't. It's not just using distilled water. It's not just doing coffee. It's not just doing urine. If you're at that level, that's awesome. But you can find different types of elements. If you can put it in your mouth, you can put it in your ass. Basically, I mean, what did people do to get rid of parasites? They take wormwood, cloves, cinnamon. You can do the same thing with an enema. Start with a lower dose, but you can do the same things. So you can find, I mean, there's yogurt enemas, there's bastis with oil, there's all sorts of different things that are going to have different effects on the body, which just bypasses the system of your stomach and digestion. So there's a lot of reasons enemas are a good idea, a great idea, in fact. So I don't really know where I'm going to go with this to say anything that I haven't already said or to like what's not clear about drink more distilled water, get some urine in your system, do some enemas. I don't really know where I was gonna. I don't know what I was gonna add anew to it because everybody here already pretty much knows that. I just want to get the part out about brainwashing and once again in inverting reality. Oh yeah, I'd hit the elements for a second there about how everything is upside down there. We think about eating too much. Yeah, I'll scroll through. I guess I said I'm not going to do too many question and answers this year here, at least until the actual new year. But I'll scroll through and see who's up in here. I got a moment, I guess. What's up, Will Johnson? What's up, Dimension? Dimension Extension, he said, your roommates are sick, but I'm not. I think I killed it with the alcohol. That's fucking serious, man. Of course. I didn't drink for a few days, and I started just eating. And look, you hear me? Like, I'm a mess. I'm a fucking mess. Because I was like, oh, let me be, let me follow the path of, this, what everybody's doing right now. Just like consumption. No, it doesn't work too well with my system. I'm an airy person and a watery person. I'm not too much into the heavy dense shits. What's up, Chart? What's up, Charnty W2? Flat Earth Vegans, what's up? Yeah. There you go, flat earth vegan. Yeah, you lose some weight. Why does everybody need so much weight? What are you going to do with the weight? I mean, you need more weight for what? You don't need to be skinny, but you don't need to be fat. You don't need to be anything. But why is everybody upset? They're obsessed with it. Because you know why? Because they're fat. Because like man, just they're not really saying that person looks sick. They're saying, damn, I'd actually like to lose a few pounds. I'd like to have that much control. That's what they're really saying, but they don't because they just want to shove things in their gullet all day because they've been programmed to. Yeah, Torrin, I hear you. Like this is me. And Torrin said, every time you eat, you just want to throw up. Yeah, I mean, this is me just throwing up in a sense because I eat shit and I'm just like, this is not sitting well. I've, getting back into that, like putting weight on, getting strength and shit like that. We've talked about that plenty of times. You can put weight on and get stronger if you want to build muscle. Start doing the things that are required to build muscle. Your muscles will. You don't need a lot of extra in your body to build muscles because they're not built out of the foods. You're not eating a piece of protein from a piece of beef or even the proteins in fish or even the proteins in or amino acids in the fruits and the vegetation. Those things aren't what's building your muscles. It has to break those things down first to become the most basic source, which is you have to get even below atomic if you really want to get into it. So yeah, the idea of getting bigger or stronger. Is anybody out here telling Bruce Lee that he wasn't strong enough and he was too small? He was 125 pounds. Anybody was telling him he was not strong enough? He's too skinny. See that kind of shit is it is it's just so confusing to me when people like, oh, this fucking badass dude, 135, 125, 130 pounds, just a beast. What did he need to do? He need to put weight. He need to put some weight on. He need to eat more. What's up, John Kruger? What's up, Lorraine Bennett? Will Johnson, how close are we to human nature? Yeah. Yeah, to mention the people think they're doing good giving homeless people McDonald's. Yeah, that I hear, man. What's up, Kia? Kia! Kia said I haven't eaten 3 times a day in a long time. Yeah, whenever I'm in a decent health, I'm usually having one meal a day, and that's at sundown. And most of my day is spent drinking juices, wine, beer, and eating living foods. Like not eating living foods, but juicing things. Like then I'll eat one meal a day. But this last couple weeks, I might have had a couple days of eating 5 times a day. You know what I mean? This is fucking consuming. Lorraine Bennett, yeah. Everybody's got their different dispositions for their body type. I mean, you got the ectos, the ectomorphs, the esomorphs, and the other ones. But even at that, like, yeah, like you don't see, you really there's not a lot of fat people in history. And they go, oh, it's because it wasn't enough food. And then you go to that conversation like, no, you don't really understand what's going on here. You're never really getting it. Dimension extension, age urine, do you seal the mason jar? No. Dimension extensions, if you're going to age your urine, you age it with you either leave the lid on and put it on loosely so it can breathe, or you put um, what do they call it? Like a mesh netting on the top of it. A cheesecloth. There you go. Because it's just like making beer, wine. There's well, excuse me. It's like making beer. You want it to be breathing anaerobically, and then after a while, you'll put the cap on tight, and that will increase the ammonia content. So like maybe like you keep it loosely on for 3 weeks. You put the cheesecloth on for like 3 weeks, a little more, and then once it's to the right stage, and then you can cap it off. And then you're actually changing the process slightly there because you're going from aerobic to anaerobic. And I've gone over that before. Try to find my old videos if you're not aware of that. Maybe on alcohol or maybe on um, aged urine or anything to do with urine. Put my name in urine, and you might find some things on those kinds of ideas of because I'm not gonna all break down the alchemy of it right here, but it's basically those two things: anaerobic versus aerobic, which is how you make beer and how you make wine. B Miss Bonita B. What's up, Rain Mask? Ellie Jacoby. Do not have my email. Hit me up on Theoluminous. TheoLuminous. Theoluminous at Gmail. What's up, Johnny K? What's up, Gary Baxter? It's been said the best coffee to use is the most light roasted, or if you can get the air roasted, and you obviously want stuff that has less chemicals in it, like organic, unsprayed, unfiltered. You know what I mean? Just the cleanest, purest, best coffee you can get that doesn't have sprays on it because it doesn't have chemicals. And you want a high caffeine content. And despite what most people might think, dark roasts have less caffeine. Light roasts have more caffeine. Dark roasts, what they do, this is like why people think espresso is supposed to be give you a big buzz. Espresso doesn't give you a big buzz because there's less caffeine in the darker roasted beans because the roasting takes away the caffeine. It caramelizes things. I'm not going to go in the process too deep, but light roasted gives you more caffeine, and that's the best. I've heard, although I've gotten results. Whenever I first started doing them, I was using just like a medium roast, whatever, medium dark roast, and it did just fine. Key, I don't know the difference between the noon and the sundown. I would say, what people are those? I'd ask that question. Do you think that culture and that are they people that tend to be from a culture that is near the equator? I could see if you live near the equator, what the benefit of eating at noon would be. Like in a hot climate, especially if it meant eating a very high water content meal. I could see the difference there. But if you live anywhere outside of the hottest places, for me eating at sundown, I see the idea is because it also takes it it removes the energy from your head and puts it in your stomach, and then goes through the digestion process and the digestion phase while you're sleeping, and that way, it's doing what it needs to do to build your muscles, to heal things, to process the food. Like why would you be wanting to process food while you're walking around all day? That it gets in the way of walking around. Even if you eat a very light something during the day, just the fact that it has to go through the digestion process is taking away from the rest of the function of your body. I mean, think of it very simply. If you go play in a sport, if you go to the gym, you do not eat beforehand. You'd be retarded to do it. You don't go run a mile. You don't go eat a bacon cheeseburger and try to run a marathon. You don't you don't eat anything, in fact. And if you go deeper into it, even bodybuilders, the really um, uh, old school ones, they'll fast for 3 or 4 days before a weightlifting competition because they're stronger. But that's a whole nother thing. Well, Johnson, I don't know what you mean. Should I cleanse before urinating myself? That's a funny way of putting it, but I don't know what you mean, man. Yeah, Diego Mendez, I've never been a fan of dry fasting for anyone for any length of time whatsoever because I don't think anyone is ready to dry fast. Dry fasting would require you to be fully hydrated, a clean body. You'd have to have your shoes off. You'd have to be outside of a city. You'd have to be getting enough sun charge. You'd have to be, obviously, like I said, shoes off, grounded out. So I don't think, that's where you're getting your energy if you're dry fasting. And once you're dry fasting, it's not even dry fasting anymore. That's not what would be happening because you live in an ocean of water anyways. So I don't discuss it with people too often because I don't think it's a good idea. Yeah, that's what I said. DAI breathing. You sound like you got a cold. Should have got that jet. Yeah, well, that was why I made this video talking about that earlier. Yeah. Electric Thigh, what's up? Ah, yes, I seen that a second ago. Oh no, Will Johnson, no, don't worry about that. But if you don't like, if I, I don't suggest if you've never done it before, if you're just coming off of eating a shitty diet, eating meat and stuff and whatever, it's going to be really strong to take your piss. Like it's going to be tough to do it because you're going to taste it. You're gonna get all of the aromatics and the flavors and whatever. It's not a great idea. I would do a day or two of juice and distilled water, and then it'll be a lot easier to do. But no, but in all essence, you don't need to. In reality, if you've been eating like shit, that's gonna have all of your medicine in it, but it's gonna be hard to take down. It's gonna be the more sickly you are, the no, more bitter the medicine. I mean, think about even when you're sick, the medicine is always bitter, and the more sick you are, the more bitter the medicine is. So yeah, I'll give you guys 3 more minutes. I'm gonna try to keep all these live videos to under 30 if I do any of them, and a lot of these questions I'm not gonna be doing. But I know y'all, so I figure I say what's up. Yeah, Will Johnson. Yeah, fasting is the way to go, man. Fasten it up. And I'm gonna be sticking some coffee up my ass, and Ellie Jacoby, of course. And I hope you got that email. Thea Luminous. There you go. Cheers. Any last questions here? I got a electric towel. Only from the darkness. Oh yeah, Lorraine. No, this is a whatever. Like I don't think of it as a recovery at all. It's for me. It's like if I put it in my body, I got to deal with it. I did it to myself. The little bit of pangs of snots that I have. Oh yeah, I should be by the end of the day. I should be fine. I'll do a bunch of enemas. I got a neti pot and just get on the lemonade piss. I should be good by definitely tonight. And I got a hot tub somewhere that I can jump in. I'll go find a hot tub. Yeah, what up, Leo? Yep, right. It's gonna go right up there. Butt chugging some coffee today. Yeah, Lorraine. I mean, it was a good time. No doubt, for sure. Yeah, fun times. Ah, Kia. I would assume that. I wonder how. I would be very careful with that Kia, because I do wonder about the caffeine content. So you might want to be very considerate of that because there's a lot more, um, like anything that's going up the vagina is going into it's going to get into your body. I'm pretty sure. So you'd want to do something like a supremely dark roast. You'd want to do like it would seem I don't I've never heard of it, but obviously it seems reasonable. There's all sorts of ways you can. But it's an enema and a douche is the same thing. You have just two different areas to put something in for a different effect. So the different types of things to clean the nani. Coffee seems interesting. Yeah, and drink the spirits. I know Electric Tom. I'm definitely gonna have to do that. I got a bottle of tequila. I think that should kill some stuff. Tequila. B Miss. My email address is theoluminous. TheoluMinous at Gmail. And it's underneath most of my videos. Will Johnson, is too much mucus the only disease? No. That whole thing. I'm not gonna get on that right now. No, it's a result of it's a result of something. But no, mucus is bad. It's not a great thing, obviously, but it's also a healing thing. Mucus is for Mucus is wet and cold. So if you're hot and dry, mucus is formed to do something. It has a job to do. So the disease isn't the mucus. The disease is literally your tubes being obstructed. So you have tubes throughout your entire body. If you get obstruction there, it's gonna be obstructed for one reason or another, and your body's gonna do what it can to remove the whatever's in the way. If something's damming something up, it's gonna get it out of the way. What's up, Jeannie? What you doing, man? Wilson, yeah, Dr. Wilson. There you go. They gotta make it sound funny. You can't just call it a vagina coffee implant. You can't just call it what it is. You can't just say douche. You say douche, it doesn't sound right, you know? A vagina coffee implant. And even vagina might be a little too much. You wanna the nani, and I mean maybe we should change from vagina to nani, and then the coffee to something better. The cherry coffee bean. An implant, I think we do better than implant. You know, we could just change those words around. It'll sound really sexy, and people want to do it then. What's up, Ma from radio? What's up? There it is, dis-ease, man. Yeah. Mine Jin, two, one in one ear, one in the other. Wow, it's basically the same person speaking, huh? Hey, so this works out well because my battery is almost done anyways. Um, B minutes. I don't know about the hydrogen peroxide douche. You should do it at a very, very small level and then always repopulate things if you're gonna. That I'll do. You should do a little more research on that because you just got to be very careful with it. Make sure you're using food grade. Blah blah blah. Um, Whoa. Well, there we go. The All right, y'all. I'm gonna get the funk out of here. Y'all have a beautiful day. I'm gonna clean up my butthole and see if my brain works any better. And maybe tonight I'll do another show because my brain will be working better than clean out my tubules and my clogs and my skull. So yeah, thanks for showing up. Stay well. Talk soon. Peace out, y'all.